is. It is. It's podcast day. We're excited. We're digging out there. What have we got? Ooh, yeah.
Dude, it's fucking podcast day.
Takes you back to that time where you remember what you were doing when you first listened to that album, or
What is going on, you champions? That's right. Yes.
What up?
Podcast day. Two dudes talk music. Yes, and stew. I've been stewing on this shit all day.
What is going on?
Yes.
It's that time. It's that time. Podcast time. Yeah, spill the beans, man. Spill the beans. We want it. We want this. The exclusive details.
What's going on, you legends? Yeah, it's just one dude. Sorry, he's not back yet, and I didn't get another co-host. Shit happens. It don't matter because you know what it is. It's Thursday. It's podcast day, and we got a doozy for you because I'll tell you what. This three-piece here are raw, like raw, and I love it. It puts you in a space of just. It's obnoxious. It's in your face. It's deep and meaningful too. There's a lot of passion that's involved with this music, and it's very good. I enjoy it. They've got 4 awesome tracks out at the moment that I can find on Spotify, and with each of those tracks has a video clip with it, which I think is just fantastic in this day and age. I think it's just a step up, and every band should be doing it, especially now with these bad boys and how good these things are these days. There's really no reason not to be. So we're going to get into a mad chat with these lot, and also they just announced some shows in Canada too, so we've got to get right into a chat, and they're going back there again, this and again, so we've got so much to chat about tonight. So, please welcome to the Two Dudes Talk Music podcast, Jai, Jimmy, and Kato. How are you all tonight, champions, from the haters?
We're good.
Good, thank you.
I haven't tried to hide Twitch people. Thanks for having us.
Oh, well, let's hope a whole bunch of people jump in the chat tonight, but the main thing is we're all here to have a great chat. Congratulations on the recent announcement of the shows in Canada. How did that come about? It's an again thing. Tell.
Well, we went there to make a record with a fellow who's now become one of our best mates, but Scott Middleton. So he's sort of famous for playing in the band Cancer Bats. And we went and hung out in pretty much the basement of this really nice house in the middle of nowhere, and we made an album together. That was in March, like a year ago, and we did some shows and stuff there, and then we just sort of started building an audience in Canada, and now we're doing like I don't know how many shows it is, but this tour is like 26 shows or something.
Wow.
Yeah, we can't wait.
Wow, that's some busy shows. We're just going to make you all bigger and a bit beautifuler.
I think this is like the first exclusive announcement of all of that.
Wow,
that's
true.
26 shows. Well, we're going to make a short of that, and we'll send that to you. You can put that up.
Sick.
We'll cut that for you.
Promoters
That
and
is
agents
so.
are really angry.
26 shows. That is awesome. So spanning from the start date to what's the finish date?
It is like, I think we fly out the 28th of May and finishes somewhere around the 5th of July.
Wow.
Or thereabouts. And it's just this mega tour. Like, Scott and Breezy, they have this agency called Southpaw, and then Jimmy has a pal who's also like a promoter agent. And everyone's just got together and just made this. Like, this tour is psycho. Like, this is the same amount of shows that we've played in the band's career in one tour.
Jeez Louise, that is some big. That's awesome. Like, congratulations. Like, what you guys are about to embark on is what some people only dream of. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Someone should book us on a really badass tour directly after this, because we're going to be so fucking tight.
Oh yeah.
Well, jeez, like, so.
Probably
No. Go on.
Nah, like we'll probably they'll be an Australian tour directly after this tour anyway. But I was just making a joke.
Wow. You'll have to keep us updated on the Australian tour straight afterwards.
Yeah, for sure.
Please do,
Definitely.
because I'm interested to see. So what can you've got the 4 tracks out. You've got Haters. What were they? They were... I had yous all up here. It was Quit My Job, which I personally absolutely love. Dead, Feel Better, and Haters. Now, I have a feeling the original... Did you guys start... Sorry, did you lot start off as a 2-piece and then move into being a 3-piece?
We sure did.
Okay.
Yeah, it was originally just me and Jai.
Yeah, why don't you tell that story, Jimmy, of like how Kato joined the band?
Yeah, tell us how the whole thing started. Give us some rough timelines. So it looks like it's 2019 was when the first single released. So prior to that,
Yeah, well, I had recently just got back from Canada. I lived in Canada for 2.5 years. Then when I got back, I was kind of like over the band scene here on the coast, and I wasn't really gonna try very hard for it. And then Jai just messaged me out of the blue, maybe a month after I got home from Canada, and he was like, "You want to start a band?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." Especially with Jai Sparks, because I followed Jai, his band, since like we were really young. I'm wearing one of his old NTs right now, Dead Right.
oh wow,
Weapon, who like I used to love. So when he messaged me just out of the blue, I was like, "Fuck yeah!" Like I'm so like I look up to this guy, and I loved his music for so long. So silly not to. And then guy fucked his wrist. And when we were just a 2-piece, and we were like, "Fuck, what are we gonna do?" Like we got these shows booked, and we need to play these. So I decided to put the guitar down a bit, and then that's when we found Kato. We were like, "Kato,
Yeah, we'd been
play
playing
guitar for us."
Yeah, we'd played a couple of shows with Kato's band. Like Kato has another like very good band called Wetlands.
Wetlands. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, where she's like,
Awesome.
and guitar, and we were kind of like pining after that band, and then we just thought we'd ask her and see, and then it just like, I think we played like one show, and we were like, "God, how do we get her to join this band?"
Ooh. Was it a hard choice
Yeah.
for you, Kate, to join?
Not at all. It was like we'd played the couple of shows, and at that, like after that, we were all like best friends. Like as soon as I started hanging out with Jai properly, we just like clicked and just like, yeah, it kind of felt like it was always meant to be. So I was really honored when they asked me to like officially join and play the bass, because I was like, "Oh, are you sure?" Yes, please.
And we needed a bass player. We honestly,
Yeah.
we really needed a bass player as well. So
Yeah, I didn't believe
was-
it.
it
Yeah, I was
worked out
like,
really
"Nah,
well."
fuck that. I don't need bass." And we played like one
Yeah.
show, and I was like, "Jesus, we fucking so bad." beforehand.
you can tell the difference as well when
Oh,
you listen to
man.
Quit My Job compared to fucking
Oh.
Dead and Haters and Feel Better. It's just
Yeah.
so much more full. Like it's just a completely different sound.
I think it's the vocals too, like, because you're such a good singer, Kato.
And the vocal, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Backing vocals.
Well, it give you guys so much room to move as music, like Jimmy and Jai. It would have given you so much more sort of room to sort of branch out and try different things, and you know now Kato can sort of take over a bit of those other parts while you can do certain bits.
Yeah.
It works well. But one thing I have to say is, even as a 2-piece, it was some real standout stuff like Feel Better. That's a cracking song, and the video clip along with it is just an absolute crack up as well. like you guys take a really you guys really hold that artistic approach to it, and it's nice. It's refreshing to see that you guys are bringing out a track and then doing a video clip right along with it.
I think like something that I love about this band that maybe hasn't existed so much in other bands is we do like put a lot of energy into doing like trying to do stuff that's like not obvious for the style of music that we're playing, or and you know, putting a lot of energy into the visual side of the band and seeing that as a part of art, and even like through social media and all of that, like just seeing it as all as an extension of what we're doing with music. And I find that really fun, and I think like I'm excited to like show the world all this stuff that we've created that's like not out.
Wow.
Because we've got this whole record that's just like, you know, I don't usually like, I haven't traditionally said this about my own stuff, but this record is fucked. Like it is really, really psycho. Like
Wow.
it's like like the people in my life that are really hypercritical, which I like. they really like it, and so that's pretty cool. But yeah, just with things like the film clips and all the visual side, I don't know. Like we all just kind of get off on like putting a lot of energy into that, you know. And look, we're sort of giving it a crack. I don't know if we'll pull it off, but we're going to try and do a film clip for every song on the record.
Wow, how many tracks?
It's probably going to be like 11, I think,
Whoa.
10 or 11. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, there'll probably be 3 good ones.
Okay. I have a feeling there'll be a lot of good ones on there, you know? Like, is it going to follow a theme? Like, is there a sort of theme to the album? Is there a story? Is it one of those albums that you... Because I personally think the art of writing... excuse me. The art of writing an album is just dying. It's a dying thing, you know? Those real good albums from front to back. Does it have a story? One of those ones where you don't hit shuffle?
Yeah, like it's like it's very autobiographical in a way, lyrically, about just like we have a song on the record that's called Jimmy Says, because I just seem to attract like mass amounts of chaos energy throughout my entire existence. You know, I like came into the world half dead, like but yeah, so it's kind of like a lot of those stories are wrapped into the record, but there's it's like there's peaks and troughs around like some really sad kind of important mental health stuff, but then there's like, you know, opposing moments of like great things happening and making new friends and, you know, creating this band and, you know, all that sort of stuff. So it's a good like ebb and flow kind of record. And even musically, I think like we were writing, just kind of going through and writing these sets for Canada, because we just, you know, obviously it's like we just want to fucking smash this thing, like, but looking at the song list and like how they flow together was a really cool experience. Like it was only last night, just kind of tightening that up, to be like this. It's going to be so cool to see this in the line on the record and then give it to people and do that. I actually spoke to someone today, you know, about like the dying art of albums. And I think that albums are for like core fans. So it's like they're not dying. It's just that you only have like a few albums each year that you digest fully and you don't add the songs into a playlist.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's cool. And that's like, it's like the people that are listening to them are the people that really, really care.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. I guess that's a very good way of looking at it. I guess doing this now, I've got no choice but to listen to just whatever I can listen to all the time. You know, it's just I'm pumping. I've never listened to so much music in the like. I thought I listened to a lot of music when I was a teenager, but starting to do this, I'm just like, oh, there's just, and it's really branched out into a lot of different styles. But how did you sort of come up with this genre, like into this indie, chaotic punk rock genre? I mean, you obviously said that your life was pretty chaotic, but was it? What kind of music have you sort of grown? Did you all grow up with?
You guys want to kick it off? Maybe Kate?
Jimmy?
Kato.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, I just grew up listening to what my parents listened to, which at the time was just a lot of that early 90s, like grungy. So I grew up with like Nirvana and Green Day and everything that was on, like Silverchair, everything that was on Triple J when it was good at the time.
Yeah, when it was good.
Like, listening to a lot of that. So just listening to a lot of that sort of stuff. So I guess that's like ingrained in my brain and has been a big influence on my music now, even as that has changed over the years. But so yeah.
And what about you, Jimmy?
Yeah, I don't really think that what I listen to. Well, I listen to a lot of things, but I'm a metalhead. I really like metal, but I don't play metal. Like I've tried before, but I just don't. It hasn't really clicked with me. So like a hard rock drummer, I guess.
That's interesting.
Say like Cancer Bats, for instance, one of my favorite bands. The drumming, I'd say my drumming's pretty close to that kind of style of drumming. Yeah, but I'd stay away from like double kick and stuff like that. Like,
oh, really?
I listen to lots of heavy metal. Yeah, it's
but
just like
you admire that from afar. It's like, yeah, I'll just
Dude,
I'll watch.
I'm like, oh, I wish I could do that, but at the same time, like, I don't really care.
Well, I mean, like,
You can keep your blast beats.
I mean, I could tell. Obviously, the like, you know, metalheads know metalheads. You can smell your own even through the computer screen.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Very true.
yeah, 100%. And like, you know, like it's such a weird thing. Like, I've never actually heard a metalhead really say that. You know, like that's sort of taken me aback a bit because normally it's like when we were growing up, it's like I remember when I had a crack at playing guitar, it's just I wanted to be fucking Brian Head Welsh from Korn. That's who I wanted to be. And that, like, I had hair like him, and I was just like, I tried and I tried and I tried and I tried. So then I became a screamo singer because I sucked at playing guitar.
Yeah, okay.
But I just couldn't help the
Yeah.
heavy. Well, I just had to stay with heavy metal. It's so good that you've sort of just gone, nah. Like I love heavy metal. I'm a metalhead, but fuck, I love playing this sort of shit.
Yeah, I guess like you can kind of see that in how hard I hit the drums. I guess that's the only really thing that kind of goes over into my drumming from that style. I don't know. Always looked up to like vocalists though in metal bands.
Ah, yes.
Probably watch the vocalists more than the drummers, but obviously I'd listen to the drummers. I don't know. Yeah.
What was that? You just cut out there. As soon as you said that last line, it cut out.
I did it. Damn.
Yeah.
I can't remember what I said.
What about you? What about you, John? What did you grow up listening to?
I started pretty early in punk music, but I saw The Living End as my first band to see when I was 13, I think, and I started a band the very next day. I didn't even play an instrument. I just started a band and learned how to play guitar in the band, and I've been in a band ever since then.
Wow.
But then I really liked punk. I didn't understand this when I was younger, but I really liked punk attitude, but I wasn't focused on only listening to punk music. And then I've sort of just I don't know, gone in and out of punk attitude and all kinds of things. I remember discovering Wu-Tang Clan and NWA and stuff and being yeah, fuck yeah. But then at the same time I started listening to Lily Allen and I was man, she's badass. And then I kind of got and have been going through an era of really liking pop music. I probably the last 4 or 5 years of really started to appreciate that it's actually a lot harder than it appears. And then looking at how those songs are written and how you can actually write that into say indie garage music and use some of those things to create really cool art. And then I'm still super duper into finding new shit. I think Triple J is great now. But yeah, for a good time, if I can't sleep, which I never do, I sit up and I look up music venues in different cities all over the world, and then I find bands that I like, and then I find the opening bands, and then I start looking at all those opening bands and then who they play with, and you find some pretty cool music. And sometimes I don't know, 1 in 20 or something, you find a really sick band, and then it'll open up to heaps of shit. I remember finding things like Fontaine's DC way before they kind of became a thing. But there was all these bands, there was this whole genre that had happened, this crankwave genre, and I just remember just being so stoked. It was only a couple of years ago, but I was so stoked. I was there's a new genre of music that I like.
Wow.
That's so cool.
That is such a good idea. That's the beauty of Spotify, but
big pun.
that's one beauty of Spotify.
Yeah, it is. It's rad because you can just go straight. I mean, it's Spotify could be such a beautiful thing. If they
Mm.
tiered the royalties, it would be so sick. But they're not gonna. But
No.
but it is good to have that access straight away.
Mm.
So that's kind of how I go through music. But yeah, punk attitude is I just sort of look for that in everything.
Wow. Man, look, and it shows through. I mean, you at the core, your music is very grunge, garage punk grunge, and it shines through. I mean, Where did you go? Did you record all these things at the same place, or was it all done in house? Take us a bit through a bit of the recording process for you lot.
Well, like Jimmy and I, like we recorded Feel Better, like I don't know, like 1 month or 2 months after, like playing together and writing it together.
Wow.
It was quick.
Yeah.
Wow,
we
because
were
that's a
just, like,
cracking song.
just get fucking moving. And yeah, so we recorded that with Nell in Brisbane here, and she's great. She does lots of very cool bands. There's a little studio out in the kind of industrial area, and then the other songs we recorded with Branko, who's in Tape Off and Total Pace and a few other bands, and we just went over to do some demos for this record that we did in Canada. And then they were just really good. And it was sort of like COVID times, so everyone was doing shit that was a bit left to center. And we were like, you know what? You could probably master those demos and no one would know. And so that's what we did.
That's mad. And you got to record.
Yeah, and My Job is like the first single from the record. Like it's going to be called Non-Violent. And it's so punchy. Like it wasn't really a single. It was like a teaser of the record, you know.
Yeah.
But it was so punchy and just straight to the point that we were like, let's just drop that out to shut everyone up for a bit, and then then we can like get on bringing this record out properly.
That's it. Do it the way they used to do it, man. Bring it the single first.
Yeah, you got to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, do it the way do it the way it's meant to be done.
Man, if it's gonna cost us like the deposit on a house, we're gonna fucking get everything out of it.
Yeah, well, 100%. How was the experience in Canada, like going over and recording in Canada?
Fun. So fun.
Unreal. It's
It is
so difficult to articulate. Hey.
Yeah, it was so life changing. I like genuinely feel like if we could get our pre-Canada selves to meet ourselves now, we'd be like, holy fuck, man. Go over there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
Met some awesome people as well. Like, it wasn't just a recording, but like, we did like a little 4-day tour with this band called More Crimes, and that was awesome.
That's heaps
Yeah.
good. So while you're over there, you played a couple of shows, got to meet the people, did some networking. Mate, that is not a waste of a recording trip. Most people go over there and see how much they can drink in that fucking amount of time while they're recording.
Kind of happened as well.
Oh yeah, well, hey,
Among
You know what?
We all-
we
we all know what you're allowed to do in Canada. Oh, they're cool over there.
they had fireworks. It was like a bloody kid in the
So
toy
you can
shop.
just buy them.
You can just buy them.
Yeah.
Buy
So,
them at the
I
shop.
can't wait
Yep.
to like chase after me.
that's the thing, man. You know what the worst part about that is, though? It's like we've been deprived of it so long. You put that silly smoke around you. You put a couple of cans in your belly, and then you give me fireworks. Oh, it's like, come on, man. It's like I'm a kid in a candy store all over again. I have no time to grow up with this stuff.
I know. I just wanted to point it at the house.
I would have ran in there. I would have ran
Fuck
into.
yeah, let's make up the last 5.
I would have ran into the recording booth with like some firecrackers and gone, "We're putting these in the recording."
It's only drums. Try the firecrackers.
That's awesome. So the full process, if you could sort of put it into hours for the people out there, the whole recording process.
Like 2 weeks, wasn't it?
2.5.
Well, yeah,
2.5?
yeah. Like we demoed like nearly 30 songs. Like we wrote about 30 songs almost beforehand.
And that was pre-production that you sent to Canada
Yeah.
beforehand. So you did all the pre-pro here and.
Yeah, we did it. So, like, because of COVID stuff, like, we kept trying to go over there, and then it was just not possible. So we kind of like started making the record here through Zoom and like doing it like that. And it was cool. Like, it was sounding pretty cool, and we like tracked a few songs like properly, you know. And we kind of like teamed up with a friend of ours, Aiden, and he was sort of working with Scott, but. Then as soon as the window opened up to go over, it was just like, yeah, let's just go and do it. And we didn't end up using like any of those recordings that we made here. But yeah, was it 2.5 or 3 weeks? Or like, it felt like a long time. Can't remember.
No, I think we were there
we're
for
there.
3 weeks, but
Work
Reporting
time
had
was,
that
work
time
time
to
was
go.
2.
Yeah, we like slept
Yeah.
on the floor of the studio. Like it was like
Wow.
genuinely every waking hour we were recording. Like quite literally. Like it was like you would open your eyes and put your guitar on. You know, it was really cool. But it was good because like his studio's in Belleville, so it's like I don't know what, but it's like out in the middle of nowhere essentially. So there's no distractions really. The only things to do are like really boring.
Oh, well,
really boring.
gives you a bit of time to digest.
Like, dangerous, you know, like.
You don't know. You already got a sensory overload by being stuck in the studio with all that noise going on. Your ears would have been so tired. I can only imagine how tired. Like people, I don't like a lot of people don't know. Your ears actually get tired, and when you spend that amount of time in record, it would have been perfect having nothing around. You could have just at least walked out there and got some fucking peace and quiet.
Well, it was nice. It was on this big frozen lake. So we did do a lot of standing. Like I remember tracking one song that was just so intense. Like the vocal, like just the lyrics. Like it was like putting a bookend on a part of my life. And I just remember just like exploding with like just full on emotion. And I just jumped into the water because I just had to feel the feeling. It was nice though. It like really like made me feel a lot better afterwards. It was a cool experience, but it was kind of cool that there was an ice lake right there.
Ice plunge.
So by the
Yeah, it
sounds
was
of
really-
things,
handy.
you did say the album was autobiographical, like an autobiography, and
Yeah.
and just with that last statement, you know that song that was really intense and having to jump into the water. Would you say that now that you sort of, I guess, like you said, put the pin in it or put the bookmark in it, you know, and you're onto the new chapter now? Would you say that the recording process was a real therapeutic experience by the end of it?
It's funny, like people say that, you know, like as a way to do stuff, but you know, it's like a bit of both because I think like a few of the songs are like friends and stuff that have died in the last couple of years, and like you end up like thinking about it a lot more than you maybe would have had you have not written the songs. So it's like therapeutic in the sense that you get to talk about your things publicly, which is kind of still a bit weird to me. I'm not sure about that, but I hope maybe that it's helpful to others. But I'm not sure. I'm still not sure whether it's therapeutic.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. I think it's like there's a mixture of therapeutic and constant re-traumatization. Like, because like every time you play a show, you're like I try to think of it like you're honoring the memory of that thing or that person or that moment. And that's where it's at, but it still makes you feel like fucking shit.
Yeah, you got to dredge it up.
Yeah, but it's cool. It's cool in a way because I think a lot of people like the world's pretty great. Like life is great a lot of the time, and like you need art and people and stuff to like help you feel like you're not the only one that feels like that. And I don't feel any unique or anything in that way. I just think it's like we've just got this vessel for being able to do that, and maybe other people will get something out of that.
Well, that's why you do it at the end of the day, isn't it? I mean, you do it for yourself. You love writing music, but you hope that it touches someone and they can at least get through it like you did.
Yeah, or just feel shit with me.
Yeah. Misery loves company. We all know that. Fuck.
Yeah, you don't always have good.
And what about Jimmy and Kato? How was the experience for you guys? I mean, going every waking hour, every waking moment, 2 weeks, knuckle down. Was it what kind? Like, I've never been in an experience like that. Was that new for the two of you, or?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I'd recorded with my other band before and everything, but going overseas, like before we went, I was terrified. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know, like, is this like the right thing to do? And Jai kind of had to give, I think both of us, but particularly me, kick up the bum to be like, we're going to do this and it's going to be great and you are going to see exactly what I mean. And I'm like, yeah, okay. But as soon as we got on that plane, it was like, yep, something just like clicked in my brain. I remember like just bawling my eyes out on the whole plane ride there because I was like, this is just unreal, and felt like something in my brain had just like changed, and I was like, this is what I'm meant to be doing, and the life I'm living now just like doesn't seem correct to me. But anyway, like as soon as we got there and just got in the studio and everything, it was just, you're just working constantly, which is like both very fun but also extremely difficult. It's like you're there with your best friends and that's amazing and so much fun, but also you can get a little bit cabin feverish as well, and as hard as you try to be patient with each other, sometimes I guess things boil up a little bit. But like Jimmy and Jai are just the best people ever, and Scott as well, like tolerating, you know, three very temperamental people. But yeah, and it's just like, you know, you're sleeping on the floor next to your best friend and then waking up the next day and recording this insane album together. It's like there's no feeling like it. And it was something that you said to me, we talked about this the other day, Jai, that thing you said to me when we were like going to sleep, and you were like, we can never relive. What did you say?
Yeah, like it was like, I think it was like the first or second night, and we'd like had a few meltdowns, I think, sort of collectively in our own ways. And I just said to Kato, you know, like, we're never going to live this feeling ever again of like going somewhere for the first time, like overseas, and like all of the experiences that come with that. So we should like suck it up, because you can't manufacture that feeling again.
No.
And it's like we talked about it, but like we should have talked about it too, Jimmy, like of how it's like it feels different even going back to do this tour, where it's like it's a different kind of excitement because we've been there and we've like, you know, we're playing shows with bands that we know, and like, you know, whereas before it was like a complete everyone, even Scott, like we'd never met him in person, and like it was so cool, and so special to do it the first time.
Yeah,
the way
definitely.
I see it, we're just leveling up, but we're just moving to the next, we're evolving.
Well, yeah, definitely. I think that was a big part of it as well. Like, we really had to push ourselves as musicians to, like, really get the product that we wanted. And there were some really hard moments, like, recording some of those songs where there was just, like, these little tiny parts that we were just spending, like, days and hours on just repeating the same thing over and over again and just getting so frustrated with ourselves. But then eventually being like, oh, yeah, we get it. And then it's just, like, it just clicks and...
Yeah, there's this one part, man, like, it was like 2:00 in the morning, and we were playing this like fucking 2 bars just over and over again for probably 3 hours, and we just couldn't nail it. And now it seems like nothing. Like,
it's piss easy. I don't know what the fuck was happening.
Muscle memory, man. That's all it is. It's muscle memory now. You spend 3 hours, and now every time you pick it up and you get to that part, you'll do it perfectly every time.
Yeah.
But I think even when we played live at like those shows after we recorded, we probably got it wrong then as well.
Yeah.
After spending so much time in the studio doing it, we got fucking did up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We smashed it now though. It's super easy now.
Oh yeah, not anymore.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I mean,
I'd like to mention also, just like how surreal it felt to go to Scott Middleton's house. Like he used to play guitar for Cancer Bats, right? He was the one who recorded us. And it was just crazy because like I've looked up the Cancer Bats for so long, and just like meeting him in person it blew my mind. It's so cool.
Did you have a fanboy moment?
Many times, yeah.
Having a fanboy moment.
Yeah, I would have.
Still do.
Yeah. Would have been that goal where it's just like, can you just give me just shook his head, just give me 1 second. I'm just going to go to the bathroom. And just gone, just oh my god.
A few moments,
funny.
yeah.
To put it into perspective, of like you walk into Jimmy's place and there's like Cancer Bats art everywhere.
Yeah, I have this Cancer Bat skateboard deck that's signed by Scott Middleton. And when we went to his studio, Scott Middleton, he has that exact same Cancer Bats deck, obviously, because it's his, in his studio. And I was like, I've got that at home. I should have signed it. Put my signature on it.
You should have. Right back at you. A sign for a sign.
Exactly. I might do it. Yeah, I'll do it. We're gonna have another chance to be there. So.
Yeah.
So what are you guys looking most forward to? Obviously, aside going over to Canada, I mean, geez, like it's got to be. I can't even imagine. Like, how did this whole thing come about? How did the whole 26 shows? Is this in lineup to release with the album? Is like an album tour sort of thing, or?
No, so this is like a single tour for this next single, but it came together just because we were like spending a lot of time, I guess, in the studio, and while we were there talking about like how do we break into Canada. Like, for as long as I can remember playing in a band, all I wanted to do was play somewhere that wasn't Australia, because geographically you can play a lot more shows, and I really liked that idea. But yeah, we just sort of started talking about like how Cancer Bats broke in Canada, and like I don't know if you're fully across them, but like, you know, these guys are like
by the end of the night.
Music awards, you know what I mean? Like, they're one of the biggest fucking bands in Canada, and they started off exactly as we are, but their whole model was just play like loads of shows in every which way possible, and play the best show you can, and build a fan base. And even if you make like 10 fans at each show, if you do 26 shows, you know, you leave that country with a bigger fan base than we probably have here.
Not just that, them friends tell their 10 friends, and then their 10 friends tell their 10 friends,
like,
and
like, yeah, that's how Bitcoin works.
yeah, it's exactly. You hit the nail on the head. Marketing genius.
Yeah, but we sort of all committed to a plan of like going back there heaps, and like really doing that, and like I think in time like we'll include North America, and like we had some opportunities to do that this time, but like the visa situation to go into North America is quite expensive, and probably prohibitively expensive currently. But it will just be focusing on that part of the world. You know,
that's so good. Oh, I'm so happy. It's so good to see Aussie bands getting runs of shows like that overseas, and like, congratulations, seriously.
Thanks.
This is the reason why we talk, and we love getting bands on, because it's stories like this, you know, like you don't get to hear about it often.
You know, for like people like that are watching this that are maybe in a band or whatever, like I think we're making it sound like really awesome, which it is, but it is really, really, really hard. Like for the first time, I think we sold everything that we owned to like get to Canada, maxed out every possible thing we could to do it, and then we're pretty far into that situation again to get this one going. But you know, we talk about it sometimes as like we could have opened a small bar or a coffee shop or something, and it would have been just as much risk, and it probably less risk doing this actually, because you know, data suggests that they fail always, but it is really hard. Like, you have to be prepared to like be proper broke for ages, and get over there and like live pretty frugal while you're trying to make this thing that is showing people your art, but then also trying to make a career out of that. So it's not all sunshine and rainbows, but it's certainly the reason that you do it in the end and go through all the bullshit. You know, and I think like collectively we all, like, this band fucking rules, because you know, say when we did the record, right, we didn't have 1 second away from each other the whole time we were there. And although we had like just stupid shit happen because we were tired, which was just like, which chord are you playing? Fuck you. It was
fuck you, that's what. That's a chord.
It was all like pretty superficial tired people shit. Like we like were missing each other when we got home. But I think we do something in this band which is really important. I know I'm just fucking crapping on here, but
no,
like it's really important in that we like all prop each other up. So like there are times where every member of the band like has, you know, particularly with something like this where you're like, shit, like, you know, it's a lot of money like to try and get us there, and like who knows, we might only sell one shirt and we're making fucking 2,000 of them, like you know, but it's like if you're in a good band, everyone like pulls each other up. And I definitely feel it the most like in times leading into things like this, because we all have our days like where if it feels a bit overwhelming.
It 100% gets like that, and people got under, and like you just said there, it's basically sacrifice. It's the amount of sacrifices that you have to. It's like the only thing you guys aren't selling is your gear. Like,
I mean,
mate, I'll sell the
Everything except for my bass guitar.
yeah, you know what I mean. It's like pretty much you'll sell the shirt off your back before you sell that guitar, because at the end of the day, that guitar is going to make you bank, and that's the aim. And it's not even like really, like I say, making bank, and like it sounds like I'm talking about screwionaires and million. No, it's sustainability. That's what the aim is. Everyone thinks that we're all trying to be rock stars and fucking play to stadiums. No, we just want to make it sustainable. Every band that we've had on here just wants to be able to make their art for a living.
Goal one for this band is self-sufficiency, so that we can go and tour the world. And it not cost us money, and we don't make any money yet. You know, so that that's,
and pay the rent.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that's part of it. Like, that is self-sufficiency. You know, where it's like you come back with nothing, but you didn't lose anything.
That's it.
You know, and like we might do that. Like, who knows? Like, maybe this will do that, and like that's part of the aim of contributing so much to this specific first major tour, is to hopefully create a cycle where we can just keep going back. And it'd be sufficient, and we just grow the base, you know?
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, I think you guys most definitely can do it. I mean, the inception of it as of Haters as a 2-piece, now progressing into a 3-piece, the depth in the sound that the extra member has brought into the band, the extra set of ideas as well, you know? Like, 2 heads are better than 1, well, 3 heads must be awesome. You know?
Yeah, where do you hear Kato's vocals too on this record? Like, it's like she won't say it, but like Kato's a really, really good fucking singer. Like
Thanks.
really powerful, and like really kind of.
Just listen to Wetlands.
Yeah, like you'll hear it, but
You'll hear
But
it.
I would argue like some of the songs, like the Haters stuff, is like just fucking bananas. You know, like your vocals on like all the songs, but the ones where you get to kind of have your moment, it's just so cool. You know, they're definitely my favorite things listening to when I listen to the record. Like, I'm like, yes, they're Kato songs.
Thank you.
So Kato, when you joined the band and they found, and Jai, you found out Kato could sing, was it just like, oh, we're definitely doing this here and we're getting Kato to sing on this, and did you actually have much involvement in the lyrical writing process, Kato?
Not lyrical writing, because I mean, Jai had such important lyrics and stories to tell, and I felt even bad. Like, I didn't want to ever change that or skew that. I felt it was always perfect as it was. And when he was asking for advice, when he was changing lyrics in the studio when we were recording, I was like, maybe try this. But I never wanted to change the discourse of what he had to say, because it was, you know, that's his story and his thing to tell, and I don't want to, you know, you never want to taint that.
No.
But I mean, when I first joined the band, I think I know that I was really nervous to be like singing backing vocals, because I was like, oh, I don't want to change the songs. What if they don't like this and all that sort of stuff? So, but I think Jai was always really encouraging to just get up there and do the thing and, you know, share my voice more.
Yeah, like I remember in the studio, we'd done like 1 song or 2 songs or something. And there was like your vocals were like up pretty high in the mix to what we had been doing at the shows, and I like really liked it. But I remember it being like quite confronting initially. But then I feel like that's how you sort of started getting a louder voice in the band, was by like making the record. And I think we like came out the other end with like, oh, this is like, we've actually found our voice of this band. Like with the 3 of us.
Yeah, definitely.
Kate found a voice in the studio.
Well, yeah, like the style I sing with Haters is like vastly different to what I do with my other band and like my solo stuff. So like being in the studio, being able to hear that and sing that, I was able to push myself and kind of break through to a different, and I don't know, range, but just like style of singing.
Yeah.
Being able to really like, you know,
no,
with it.
That's good. I mean, so Wetlands is the other band that you play in, and do you do guitar and vocals in that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm definitely going to be checking that out after the stream as well.
They're like a very good band. Like we like really liked them prior to Kato. Like we were fans of their band, you know.
Awesome. Awesome. Wow. Jeez. I'm still gobsmacked. I'm gobsmacked at the whole thing. I mean, it's not. I think Raph has been the really only maybe one other person on here that's really recorded overseas and actually gone overseas to play and do a tour. I mean, King Parrot. We had the drummer from King Parrot on. I mean, that's probably an exception, but geez, that's unreal. We're gonna take this into the first segment because we're gonna get to know you guys a little bit better.
Sure.
So, for all you lovely people that don't know out there, this is our very first segment of the evening. This segment is called the Quick Question Quarter. So what this is just rapid fire questions to our esteemed guests. Once I pull up my question sheet here, and we smash out these questions, we ask them, and we get to know everyone that little bit better. So, it doesn't matter who answers first. We can just start from whichever way you want.
We'll go Jimmy, Kato, than me.
All right, let's do that.
Oh, me first. Jeez.
Yeah, because you're at the other top right of my screen.
All right, so I'm going to hit our little cutaway, and we're going to get into this.
Getting to know you, getting to know all about you.
All right, let's go.
I'm so scared.
Question number one. No, it's fine. They start off easy. That's all I'm going to say. They start off easy. What is the first instrument you all ever learned how to play? Jimmy.
For me, it was guitar, actually.
Oh, wow.
I was in grade 3, but I never had the patience.
That old chestnut. I have none of that. Lost that ages ago.
It's hard.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Do I rapidly fire? It was actually the bass guitar. I wouldn't say I actually learned how to play it, but I had one, and I played in the school band.
Yeah,
Didn't know how to play though.
Doesn't matter. It's all good as long as you're having fun. Joy?
Yeah, I was just.
I had it was alto saxophone, and I was just
This
so
guy.
great. Loved it. I love it.
Do you still play? Why are there no saxophone solos in any of the music?
I mean, maybe there will be.
That's what the world needs. The world needs more saxophone solos.
If I could play saxophone, I'd be up on every table in restaurants. Like,
Yeah, that's it. Jeez, put me in my underwear.
Aldi, so can't do it there anymore. Goodbye, bargain bins.
Oh no! First album you ever purchased, and not the one your mum oh here you go, like the one that you were like, Mum, I want this album. You have to get me this album, or the one that you bought it with your first pocket money.
It was a cassette tape, and it was a Backstreet Boys cassette tape.
Nice.
I fucking loved them when I was a kid.
Mate, Backstreet's back, alright. That song was cracking. That video clip was good.
Yeah, it's OG. It was really good.
It was.
I think mine. I don't know if a single counts, but I think there was like a Veronica's like 2-song single CD that I bought. But I think actual album might have been. I think it was Brand New Eyes, Paramore.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think it might have been that one.
It's a good album.
It is.
I bought Green Day Dookie.
Ah, solid. That's a solid album.
I'm trying to do a report on it at school, and my parents never read the lyrics. I did it, you know. Masturbation's lost its fun, and I wrote into this big thing.
Oh wow!
Man,
I wish I could have been there for that.
That would have been awesome. That would have been awesome. That would have been excellent. Oh, okay. What was your first live concerts? Not the
actually,
Wiggles.
Green Day. Green Day and Simple Plan.
Nice.
That was my first one.
Mine was actually a Paramore concert.
Very
as
good.
well.
Very good.
2010.
That's good.
Mine was it was the Living End, but the lineup was crazy. It was like Eskimo Joe with the opening band, and then
That was back when they were a punk band.
Yeah. They only had I remember going into like HMV and not understanding why they didn't have it. Like, because, you know, at that point, you don't realize that like local bands aren't in HMV. I'm like, no, like I saw them at the arena.
Yeah.
Like,
They have to be in here.
I still got it. It's got their mobile number on the back.
Oh, it's solid as.
Nice.
All right, they're going to start to get a bit harder now. Instrument you all have always wanted to learn.
Oh yeah.
Guitar. Saxophone. I could have been a guitarist if I just stuck with it.
Hey, you're a sucker for punishment. It's like, oh, you didn't have the patience. Shit, you have the patience to load in and load out at every show.
Yeah.
You have to
One
literally
day we won't have to do that.
every limb of the body to play your instrument.
I don't know, man.
I wish I could learn to play the drums.
Yeah.
I'm too uncoordinated though. Yeah.
There you
Always
go,
wanted to-
Jimmy. Switch.
It's like halfway there. with the
Cake and
bass,
loading.
too. It's like a... Yeah, we can trade, yeah.
Mine is like sort. I don't know, like if you classify it as an instrument, but like it is an instrument. But I'd like love to understand like
There you go.
sampling more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like you'd be able to like properly use a sample pad in real time and make it happen.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. How those DJs like
Yeah.
can mix songs and do all the beats on top of it and stuff like that straight over it.
Mm.
Well, yeah.
In
like,
theory.
I often thought it'd be really funny to do a ska band, like a 12-piece ska band, but just using pads. I was like, figured, you know.
Are you going to go to the Ska Orchestra?
What's
The Ska Orchestra are touring.
Yeah, I like that band. They're cool. I like how they all march into the show, like fucking all 30 of them or whatever. They usually walk through the crowd, and you're like, oh man, cool.
I'd love to go. I just don't know if I could handle that much ska.
No, it's pretty fun. But
Yeah.
I've been a couple times. It's pretty fun.
I'll have to take the wife.
Scar Live would be great.
I'll have to take the wife. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
If you could pick a band to open for, living or dead, living or dead, active or not, in any lineup you so choose, who would it be?
Oh, I'm gonna say just simple Cancer Bats.
Hmm.
I don't think it's that far out either. I mean, our styles are a bit different.
Yeah, it can be. It doesn't have to be the same styles, but yeah, Cancer Bats.
But, yeah, I think so. For me, yeah.
Yeah, I can see you saying that.
It's Kato.
I don't know. This is a really hard question. I feel like whatever I say is going to be the wrong answer.
No, there's
And
no
I'm
such.
gonna, I'm gonna
no.
be like,
There's-
why did I say that?
That's the
Um,
only thing that could happen. That's worst
Fall
case
Out Boy,
scenario.
I guess.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Fall Out Boy.
Fall Out Boy.
Nice.
That's solid. That first album's so good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Going down.
I'd love
Yeah.
to do like the Clash, but like, you know, like 6 months after London Calling record came out.
Oh,
You know, so, like, Like
That's a
them,
good
but
album.
they're not sort of too into themselves.
yeah.
Yeah, it'd be really fun. They're really fun shows. Like, I love the Clash because like I see things about that band in our band, like where it's like they were
Mhm.
classified as punk, but they really weren't a punk band at all. And I love that. I think we could totally steal their whole audience.
Do it.
Mm.
And then come back on here and tell us how you done it. You can give out the formula.
And resurrect the spirit of Joe Strummer.
Yeah, that's it. I went to the graveyard.
Yeah.
Who is an artist or band you are listening to currently that you believe is seriously underrated?
Okay.
You just get up my Spotify.
Yep, that's the go-to.
Is that cheating or?
No. It's just, it's so funny because 9 times out of 10, everyone reaches for their phone, and then the funny thing is, when we have them on and they're actually on their phone, they can't answer.
Yeah, right. I would say Bayside. I think Bayside.
Bayside,
Way
okay.
bigger show. Yeah. They should do a more like. I mean, they always like randomly drop acoustic EPs and just like weird three song EPs, and they're always awesome songs. But yeah, I don't know. I think they should. Yeah, they're just awesome. I don't know where I'm going with this, but
No, Bayside, Kato.
yeah.
Oh, this is really hard. I wouldn't say necessarily that they're underrated, but not many people in my circle know of them. And I talk about them to Jai all the time. But this band called Peach Pit,
Peach.
and I think
Yeah.
they're my favorite band ever. I think they're really cool, and I'm like, they actually have a massive following like overseas. But
Oh, I'm going to have a check of them out. I'll write all
Yeah,
these
they're
down
cool.
and we check them out after. I'll check them out after.
It's a hard. This one's hard because I've got like 100 bands.
That's the point of these questions.
Um,
That's why
I-
it's
I-
on my Spotify.
Today, I would say there's this band called Clockworks from Ireland.
Clockwork.
That I think I got into them 2 years ago or something. But yeah, they're really great band. They're in that like crank wavy sound of Fontaines and Idols and all those bands. But yeah, I just think what they're doing is rad. Although the last couple of songs have been not my jam, but I think they're like one of those bands that has great potential.
All right. So we got
They got some good
Clockwork,
songs.
Bayside, and Peach Pit for their most underrated. So if you haven't listened to them, go check them out. What's the next question?
They're fucking
Next
great
question
bands.
is, what is something that people may be surprised to learn about you all?
Oh yeah,
I'm a huge fan of electronic music.
Ooh, EDM. Nice.
yeah.
Love
I was
EDM.
surprised
Love me
ages
some
ago
EDM.
on that too.
Yeah, like
Um,
really like spacey bass. Love it.
Yeah, nice.
Love it.
I used to pole vault.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
To say that, that's great. Kind of
Jai?
awesome at that.
I love these questions. They're so good.
Jimmy and I are cousins.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm. This is probably the most surprised I've been with that question from all three answers. I love it. All right,
Well-
this is where they start
Yeah.
getting really. This is where they start getting good.
Oh,
What is the cringiest, like the cringiest band name or song title you have ever been involved in? You know, I'm talking about.
Oh my god.
You know, they're talking
Oh.
about that one where you're like, I cannot believe we called ourselves that or we named that song that.
I was talking about this the other day. I was in this band called Ditch Pants.
Ditch Pants, yes.
Ditch Pants. And I found a photo of us, and I'm like, what the fuck? Can I show you the photo?
Yeah.
It is just, it's so cringy. I sent it to my friend. I was like, what was I doing? Here we go. Ditch Pants. So crap.
Oh, I can't see your thing.
Is he trying to screen share or?
No, I'm trying to get it on my phone.
Oh,
Here it is. Okay. These fucking nerds.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Why?
Yes. Every
where are
single.
you?
I'm in the front.
Yes.
Is that you?
Yes.
I got these weird goggles on my
Oh,
head.
How?
Look at that. Look at the guy in the hoodie.
Yeah, the cut off hoodie. Are you cold? Are you hot? I don't know.
Yeah. Too cool for school by the looks of things. Oh man, that was just the lamest band I've ever been in. Hated it.
That's awesome. I love it. Ditch Pants. Yes. That's what I'm
Pants.
talking about.
We opened for this band, the band Tumbleweed.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Band called- We opened for Tumbleweed and also She Had. No, not She Had.
Was She Had? I love She
No,
Had.
it wasn't She Had. It was I can't remember
Fire?
it at the moment. Anyway, sorry. Next.
That's awesome. I love it. And the photo too. Yes. It's just,
yeah.
Oh, cringe.
oh, it's excellent.
I've never been involved in any other bands
Ah.
other than Wetlands and Haters. I mean, me and my friends, we tried to start a band for like a day, but we didn't have a name. So I
Oh,
guess,
you're lucky.
yeah. But look,
Lucky.
I'm sure that wetlands is the coolest thing.
Doesn't matter. You still got time.
Hate lands.
Yeah.
We
Yeah, I
had,
guess.
haters.
Haters. It's cool.
Give it 10 years. Are we doing this question again?
No, that's. Oh, I like your little thing in the Facebook bio where it says because Lovers was taken.
Yeah.
I love it.
And actually, Lovers, there's a band in Canada called Lovers who I think we're probably going to hook up with.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lovers versus haters.
Lovers and Haters.
Oh, you
Yeah,
should do a collab.
That'd be pretty funny, actually.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
For them.
That'd be
definitely.
so cool. All right.
We do like, I had a band, like one of my first bands was this band called Penkus. And like,
Penkers.
yeah, and like it was inspired because we had this friend Penky, and I'd like, I think I probably saw something for Kate poster somewhere, and I was like, we should name it after a friend. I was like 13, and then he was like, I don't want you to name your band. I don't want you to name your band after me. That's lame. And so we're like, we'll name it Penkus. Then it's not quite your name, but. Then, obviously, a few months later, someone pointed out that you remove one letter of that name. We'd already made the shirts.
Oh, that's his shirts and all. Yes.
We were on for a while. It was a pretty fun little band, though.
Oh, that's awesome. Cringy as hell. Excellent. I love it. Last question for the quick question quarter. This one's a doozy. What is your most controversial music opinion?
I would say that the album Elefunk by the Black Eyed Peas is a fucking great album. It is my guilty pleasure. I love
I
that
don't see
album.
how that's. Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah. No, yeah, controversial. Yeah, we'll take it.
You're gonna get against so many things that are controversial.
Well, now's your time.
I don't know.
Nah, you done. That's it. It's locked and loaded.
No,
You're
no,
out.
I'm happy with that. I don't
Yeah.
know.
What do you got, Kato?
Kato, what do you got?
I don't know. This is really hard. I'm sure I have many, but I'm put on the spot. I can't think. I guess me saying that thing about Triple J earlier was really controversial.
The only reason why I have issues
think
with
what-
Triple J is because I can't listen to
I
it with
know, I
the
have
kids.
no issues.
I have
It's
issues with it
cooler
because
when I was
I can't listen to it with the kids in the car
Mm.
because I just don't know what's coming up next. It could be like some rapper.
They do
telling-
give you warnings.
Yeah, they do
sometimes.
give you warnings, but then I end up not listening to Triple J because I just every time it's just like, oh, I can't listen to this song.
Just let the kids swear. It's fine. They're just words.
Yeah, I listened to it growing up and I turned out fine.
Yeah, so did I.
I'm fucking perfect. Look at
Yeah,
me.
that's it. The funny thing is, my daughter won't swear in front of me. She'll swear in front of her mum.
Mm.
Yeah.
Good cop, bad cop.
Oh yeah, I'm the bad cop.
The same with my parents.
I can't wait till she's older and she sees these videos of me, and it's just pretty much me drinking and swearing.
My life is a lie.
How could you just do this to me? What did you think I was doing in that room, sweetheart?
Heroin.
What are you doing in there? Drugs.
Nothing. Just smack. Like
Okay, fair enough. That was pretty controversial. Your Triple J comment from earlier that it was good back in the day.
I didn't mean it. I love Triple J. Please
This is gonna
play
get
us.
out.
Play us all the time.
I mean,
They're not allowed to be biased, so they have to.
thanks. I like some country,
Ooh. I mean,
but I like
Country's
old
fine.
country.
see, I can't.
Oh, like really loud in the car, just be jamming along.
Yeah, where they sing through their nose and everything's. I don't know how they do
About
it.
tractors.
Yeah,
Trucks.
tractors and
No, like, no, it's
moonshine.
like old country's different. It's like as if we were to do it. You know, like the lyrics are like way
Stories
sadder.
about life.
And
Yeah.
not like sad as in, you know, like I missed the train and now she doesn't love me. It's like it's more like my life sucks.
Yeah, well, you know, it hasn't. Yeah,
Because I missed the train.
Yeah, and now she doesn't love me.
Yeah.
Well, that
Not a
was
plaid shirt.
that was the quick question quarter. That was good. I like that. That was some really good answers, everybody. Very good, very good. I got to say, the EDM thing, I did not pick that. And
Yeah, I think I've been to more. I've been to more EDM shows, festivals, than I have alternative.
do you reckon that transfers into your drumming?
I mean,
No.
in that Zorba's dance thing.
Oh, maybe actually. Maybe in Wonder. Got the dance. beat.
Yes, you always try to put that beat into like every song.
Do it.
It's
Oh,
just fun.
Jai just
No, Jai's
disappeared.
gone.
I think his phone died. I bet you his phone died.
I bet, yeah. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. We'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll come back.
That's all right. These things happen. You get that on the Two Dudes Talk Music jobs. But we'll wait for him before we
Yeah,
get
yeah.
into the next segment. If he comes back, I might get a message. But we'll get. You know what? We'll get into
Yeah,
the next
we'll-
segment. We'll give him a chance. We'll give him a chance.
Alrighty.
So this next segment is my. No, we're gonna wait. We're gonna have to wait until we get an answer. We're gonna have to wait for Jai.
I can message him,
We'll
but
wait
I
for
mean,
Jai.
if his phone's
If dead, we're up the creek. He can go run inside
won't
and plug it in. 3 weeks in Canada. 2 weeks in a studio.
yeah,
Stuck together.
yeah,
Is there anything
yeah.
you
And
would... is
the
it,
studio
yeah.
didn't have. Sorry,
No, go. The studio didn't have what?
didn't have windows, so get a little bit like crazy, and it'd get really hot. Oh no, actually, it got really cold. So Scott really liked having the aircon on, and it was like the end of winter as well. So if you open the door, it's freezing. But we're all like huddled on the couch under this little blanket, and a few times we'd try and sneak the remote to like turn it up without him knowing, and then we did it, and he'd be like, "Why is it so hot in here?" And then he'd grab it and just turn it back down, and we'd be like, "God, it's fucking freezing." So I think
Because-
he gets less productive when he's warmer. So
You just got to
Yeah,
fill it with
18
ice bags.
degrees to Canadians is actually really hot. Really cold
Yeah.
to Australians.
Wow.
yeah,
I hate the cold.
Yeah.
Like, I mortally hate the cold. Although, I like the snow. It's really
snow's
weird.
good because when it snows, it's not too cold
No, it's a dry cold.
because snow insulates everything. So,
Yeah. That's weird.
but, yeah, but when there's no snow and it's like fucking minus something, just like why?
Yeah,
no
see,
point.
no, that is hell to me. There's no fires. Hell is frozen over and cold, and I don't get to leave. That is my hell.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah, at least if I go to if we could go to the fiery place, they might have beer there, and I can just try and drink beer to stay cool. But I can't do that if it's
Yeah. No. We're gonna be missing winter this year in Australia almost.
So coming back now and having a bit of
It's
time to
summer.
settle and thinking about your tour now, is there anything that you would sort of do differently if you walked into the studio again?
I don't think so. Oh, actually, yes. Mixing it all together when we're in person because we just we recorded it and then came back here and then let Scott mix it, and it was really hard to communicate what we wanted in the mix with the time difference and all that stuff. So yeah, doing it while we're all there, we can communicate with each other face to face. Would be ideal.
I never really thought of that,
Yeah, it was pretty tricky.
especially with the time difference. It would have been absolutely hard because by the time you're getting it and listening to it, he's asleep, and yeah, that's
Yeah.
annoying as hell.
Yeah, exactly. And even like with us, us three, because I live on the Sunshine Coast and they both live in Brisbane.
Oh,
So we don't practice that often, so it's kind of hard to. It's always like Zooming or through text communication or calling as well.
So when you guys do practice, does that involve probably a 3 or half a day stint, 3-4 hour half day stint, kind of
Not
thing?
even.
Not even.
Oh,
No.
2 hours, but nothing
Yeah,
too
it's like
crazy.
I think we booked the room for like 3 or 4 hours. Yeah, most of the time it's just like a catch up, just to hang out.
Yeah, nice.
We haven't seen each other for so long.
That's good. Well, that's
And then
you got to work on that stuff first if you want to be able to flourish as a band.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing worse than being that's when you're a session muso and you just come in and out and you just don't need to worry about everything and who gives a shit.
No, that's so
You just
true. I
need to
think
leave.
Yeah, I think that's like such like a more important thing in being a band than people realize, and something that I feel so lucky to be in Haters for is that we're like really close, like as friends, but then being able to like translate that into the band thing as well, like helps us be able to play together better and you know all that stuff. So
You all sound like a
Yeah,
very
we have a lot of
cohesive
fun.
unit. And
Yeah.
it sounds like Kato
Yeah, we are.
has brought a lot, like you can even tell in that recording, oh, fuck, I'm really having mental blanks. Oh, wait, Quit My Job.
yeah,
Which I love the song, because that's all I want to do.
Yeah, I mean, when you listen to that after like Dead and Feel Better, it's just like a completely different band.
Yeah,
Just
but the crack,
vocals and the fucking bass is like crazy.
but the chorus, the chorus still there. And I mean, being a drummer and having that extra thing for you to listen to, Jimmy, how have you found that for your live performance now?
It's a lot easier. I can like obviously have another rhythm section. So obviously I can play along with that, but it just feels like there's something there for me to hook onto. Yeah, it just felt so empty with the two of us, and like it worked for a while, but like after a while, I was just like, man, we need a bass.
Yeah.
Jai was so against it. He's like, no, we don't. We can do this 2-piece thing for ages.
Because that's a
And
very
then everyone was like,
indie-
you should get a bass player.
It's a very indie thing to do, you know, the guitarist and the drummer thing, and I
Yeah.
dig it. You know, 21 Pilots. They sort of really made a go of it and put it in the spotlight of what two sort of musicians can do. But they were very sort of involved with the mixing and the recording process and doing all those synthesizer bits and
Yeah,
Well-
they have that other element as well, like the synth, as you say.
yeah. Excuse me. But yeah, I mean,
We were just pretty raw.
well, that's the whole genre that you guys are really stepping into. And it's such a good idea that you guys aren't. I'm going to say it, wasting your time in Australia trying to make a go of it here when you have more of an opportunity. And like Jai said before, you can do twice the amount of work in half the amount of time over in places like Canada and North America and stuff like that.
yeah,
definitely.
absolutely.
Do you ever?
I mean,
How do you find, like, so you've played a couple of shows in Canada and you obviously play shows here. How do you find the punters receive your music in Australia compared to Canada?
you know,
I don't know. I mean, like we get a little bit of love, like when we play shows in the Brisbane and Sunshine Coast when it's people that we know and everything. But there was just something about the energy of the shows that we played in Canada. I don't know if it's because we were more excited or people were excited to see something different, people from Australia, but they were just like, yeah, way more receptive and like, really, yeah.
Because I
Like we
mean,
gained like
they were-
proper fans over there.
because you've
So-
really hit the nail on the head. I mean, when
Yeah.
you sort of play out in Brisbane and stuff like that, yeah, you pretty much are playing to mostly your friends, and yeah, that's cool and stuff like that. But I mean, you've really, I guess that's sort of what you guys have done there. It's a really good formula. Like, it's a really good idea. You're never going to find out the true answer from playing from people that are just like in your own backyard. You know what I mean? You're better off stepping out of your comfort zone, going into a completely new place where nobody knows hide nor hair of you. And
yeah, we
find-
had a couple of guys come to a show, and they were at the front of the show, and they were just like screaming out lyrics.
wow.
this is like Hamilton, Ontario. Like, we've never been here before. These guys, like, obviously did their research. They're like, oh, this Aussie band's playing tonight. And obviously they'd listened to our music before enough to know the lyrics, which was like crazy.
Wow.
Like, what? So,
I
yeah,
mean,
that was really...
that's the dream as a front man, is to have someone scream your fucking lyrics back at you. Far out. That's
Yeah, definitely.
That's
Yeah, and they were so stoked when we met them afterwards, and they were just like, you are like so welcome any other time, like any time. Like, we love you guys. Like, so I hope to see them when we go back.
Oh, that's so good. I'm so happy for you. I mean, I can't wait.
you.
I can't wait to hear this album.
Yeah, I hate sitting on it because like so
Can we get a
So special.
rough sort of date? Like a timeline, maybe a little one? There we go. Patience is a virtue, my friends.
and just in time. He could probably tell you about the date.
Yeah. Now that we've got
better than any of
Joy.
us.
I'm here. Can you see me?
We can't see you,
No.
but we can hear
You're a
you.
little alien man.
Yeah, you're a little Discord symbol.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Discord.
Oh, how do I get back there? Oh my god. Oh, there we go, General. Oh, good god.
I think he's gonna click the photo
Click-
of the camera.
Yeah, just click the little photo of the camera. It should turn everything on.
Yeah, no, I was in some
There
other
we
page.
go. There we go.
Sorry about that.
No,
no
it's fine. It's
okay.
fine. We figured the phone must have dropped out. It's something, so it's all good. We were just talking about this new album, and we're actually talking about the reception comparison in what you would have gotten from, say, Australia to Canada, especially considering you guys were in a whole new country. No one knew hide nor hair about you. And Kato and Jimmy were just telling me that you had people singing lyrics along with you while you were...
Oh, it was like the coolest thing ever. Like, we're at this bar that, like, in a place I didn't even heard of before, ever. And this dude comes up to me at the bar, and he's like, "Oh, can I buy you a beer?" And I was like, got very hypnol in it.
We partying?
And then I was like, "Oh, that's all right, man." And he's like, "No, I'm like a big fan of your band." And I was like, "No, you're not." And then
There's definitely a roofie in here.
I was too, getting like, I bet you they've given him like, you know, what are those, Louis or whatever they are? Those coins. And then he's like, "Oh, can I get a photo?"
Looney.
Yeah, that's it, Looney. And then Toonie, that's it.
Yeah.
And then he got a photo with me, which I thought was really funny. And then we played and fucking yelling the words, and I'm just like, I think I looked at Jimmy because I think I went to you directly because I was like, Jimmy, what? I just turned
Who
around.
paid him to do this?
Here are the words. He wrote them down.
They're super nice too. They're super rad. I'm sure we'll like hang out with them again. Yeah, no, it was cool. It was like pretty cool moment.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that was awesome.
Oh, like I was just
That's
saying, you know, that's pretty much every frontman's dream. You're, you know, like getting your lyrics screamed back at you while you're playing. That's just like,
Yeah.
that's surreal. That's surreal. I'll probably start crying.
Like in this one moment. Anyway.
What happened in that one moment?
Oh no, you just said frontman. I've never actually thought about that, like ever,
Oh, really?
because it just feels like we're all the front people, like, you know, like
Yeah.
it's very,
I hate saying front man, but it's just,
no one's
it just,
said that to me before.
I mean,
That's
okay, lead singer, I guess. I don't know.
No, I am like I am a frontman. I'm just it's all fine. It's just I don't see it that way in my
Yeah,
head.
no, that's good. That's good that you don't see it in your head. That just obviously
We're all equal.
no, it just shows the respect that you have for the members that run alongside you in the band, and that's a very good thing. You're all equal, like Jimmy said.
Well, yeah.
That's it. So we're trying to get a timeline of this album. We want to know. Give us a timeline. Give me the time.
Probably like October, I reckon. Like I think that's maybe what's gonna happen. Like September, October.
Yeah, nice. That should be very
like,
good. Just before
you'll-
Christmas. Stocking fillers,
Yeah.
everyone.
It's just because we want to release some singles first, you know.
This is good. Hey,
Yeah.
play the algorithm game. That's what Spotify wants you to do, unfortunately. Look,
I mean,
I'm a culprit for this because I'm sure Raph hates it when I fucking say it. I'm sure he hates it when I say it, but I don't play in a band anymore, so I can say it all I want. As much as it pains me to say it, man, it's the way of the future. It's the way the world's going. Falling short of everyone stopping using it tomorrow, which is not going to fucking happen. We got to just roll with the punches, man. So releasing singles as a waterfall release, I think is what they call is a professional term for it, a waterfall release, where you just go drips and drips and drips, and then you just bang, hit it all out in one go.
Yeah, I think it's just I don't hate it. Like lots of people hate it, but like I don't hate it. I think it's cool. Like every era has a real pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Like there's like massive stars that complain about having to do social media, but I'm like, well, at least you're not sitting at fucking Westfield now signing, scraps of paper for 5 hours every single day. Like that was shit. Like that was a shit time for you. And it's like then you just sort of like cater to what's going on at that point because I know like when I was growing up, it was such a pain in the ass to have to get CDs pressed all the time, and like that was so expensive because it was the medium at the time. It was expensive, and now we're getting to sell thin air. It's fucking rad.
It is. You pretty well, mate. You've hit the nail. You finally don't have to pay to get your vibrations of the air out in the air.
No, not really.
Oh, you sell a bit of your soul, I reckon. That's the only problem. Like the amount of a lot
of your time.
And this is where the kicker comes in, right? And this is where it pisses me off. This is the part that fucking annoys me. If I'm listening to you, and an ad comes on while your songs are playing, you should get the ad revenue. I don't see why that's so hard. Like it's
I kind of agree with that.
Like if I pick an album, if I pick your album, and in your album it has 3 ads.
Yeah.
When I listen to that album front to back, the ad revenue for those 3 ads should go back to the band.
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree with that.
It's pretty much the way it should work on YouTube. If I present a video and then ads roll during that, we should get a percentage of that, but it doesn't happen.
Well, there's like so many inequalities within, but there always has been with everything. There was inequalities like back before all this stuff where like if you could buy 100,000 singles, like they were like fucking nothing to buy them, or you wanted to run street press advertising, which was the only real way to market your band. It was so expensive. You can spend $100 now and reach like 1 million more people than you used to be able to. $100.
100%.
There's heaps of stuff that's real good. Like, I think it's easy to get bogged down with the inequalities because they are shit, and like a royalty rate of 0.006 cents before anyone else has taken anything. And if you're a real band that's like really doing something, you're going to end up with the manager and an agent and probably a publishing deal and a record deal. And every one of those people is going to be involved in this 0.006 cents. And they should be because they're working for it as well. But I look at that and go, yeah, that's not really a sustainable model. But so that's what's fucked about that. But then the things that open up are like you can get added to a playlist and all of a sudden like 1 million people listen to you that day. That you would never have been able to do that before. There was no chance of that.
That's a very good point. I'm going to have to keep that one in the back pocket.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's so popular to be like really negative of the current time, but I actually think there are a lot of things that are really awesome.
Oh, yeah. Look, at some point we're just old. I'm an old man yelling at clouds. You know what I mean? Like back in my day, people used to bring out singles, and we used to have to go to CD shops and stand in the CD shop and fucking listen to the CDs that they had on display and shit like that. That's what we used to have to do.
Yeah, I like that. That was cool.
It was cool, but this is much more convenient.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like a lot of people have that attitude of like it used to be better, But I have a mission of helping people to be like, it did used to have elements that were different and they were really cool. But it's always been kind of good. It's just that there's always been that shitty bit too. So like,
true.
don't be too bummed out in the current state, because you know it's not so bad.
Well, I'm still off the theory that the cassette tape companies and Bic pens were in cahoots with each other.
So you can wind them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon it was all built by design, man. I reckon all pens around until they brought out the cassette tape and Bic went, I got you.
Yeah.
You're onto something.
We can fix this.
For some reason.
Oh, that's awesome. So October, we're looking at roughly around the release date of the album. Cannot wait. Now we get into the best segment of them all. This is everyone's favorite segment. Okay. So if you're first time joining, first time listening, this is called the Fuck Off Files. So this is an opportunity to vent on a bit of that negativity. We're not trying to be positive here. We're trying to be negative in a positive way.
Bad.
No, we're trying to fix the music world together in the things.
Cool.
So let's hit the cutaway and we'll do this bad boy.
Cutaway, yeah.
Cutaways. Love cutaways. All right. This is called the Fuck Off Files. This is an opportunity for the guests to put on the Infinity Gauntlet and Thanos. 3 things out of the music industry. They're going to snap their fingers. It can be about whatever you want. It can be about punters. It can be about anything. Venues, whatever you want. Whatever you want to piss off out of the music industry that we just really grinds you the wrong way. What would they be and why?
Is it 3 things each?
Oh, pick one thing each. If you want, we'll go one thing each, and if you got another one, we'll go another round.
I've got a bunch. Oh.
Well, okay, let's go. We still got time.
I would
Jimmy,
say
you're
how
up.
much bands get paid.
Hmm.
We pay bands more. Like,
Yes.
we have so much equipment. We pay a lot of money for. And we need to make up for it somehow.
Yeah.
So like we're worth a little bit more than $100 or $150.
Yeah, I think there's so much undervaluing of like local bands. It's like, I know that they're only starting out, but that doesn't mean that they only deserve to be paid $100. Like, they're providing entertainment for the night.
Yeah, well, that's the big thing.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, those
Actually working.
I've always gone off the thing. It should be keep your ticket sales. Give me 10% of what people buy from the bar. Give me 10%.
Yeah.
Give me 10% of your drink sales for the night. And that'll be
Yeah,
it, because I'm bringing asses through the door. If asses aren't going through the door, nobody's buying your drinks. But that's just me.
Yeah, I'd like to add onto all that. There's something that really pisses me off, right? Is it's like, if you play a really big support tour, or you support anyone really, you're like made to feel bad if you say, hey, this person gave me $200 to play to like 4,000 people. And I think that's fucked. I think there should be a general understanding in the music fan public that everyone's getting paid really poorly. And then I think music venues, they wouldn't not pay the lighting bill, or they always pay the sound engineer. They always pay all of the bar staff. Every other fucking thing to do with those venues, they pay, right? But comes to the band, for some reason, I don't think it should matter. They booked the fucking band. If nobody comes, then they should have done better research.
Mm-hmm.
We can get people to them.
Yep.
You know, this is their whole business. Like, no, fuck that.
No, could not agree more, man, because I tell you what, like, at the end of the day,
Well said.
a venue has an obligation, like you said, to do research. You're not just going to... And, yeah, like, at the end of the day, these people have taken the time to come out, set up, pack down, play songs. They deserve to get paid a decent amount of money.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I empathize with how difficult it is to run a small venue, right? It's really hard. You're like, it's the same as what we're doing. But to, like, the only harm you cause is just to the one thing that you're trying to do. That just is insane to me. Like, if you want to pick on someone, like, don't pick on anyone really, but like, how did it come to be that the band was the thing?
Yeah.
Like, it seems insane to me. There should just be a set, like I know, like there's Musicians Australia, right? They're like a union essentially. That it's really cool actually what they've done. Like, it's like when government grants come in for COVID for putting on shows, they made sure that a minimum wage of like $150 for each member in every band for any government-funded COVID show was given to the band. That you couldn't throw the shows without doing that. And their whole thing, and they're trying to push it through now, is that there is a minimum wage. So if we're booked at a show anywhere, it's like, yeah, we're definitely going to get like $150 each per person. You know,
It's good.
Cool.
which I think is cool because it's still like basically fuck all. Like,
In retrospect, yes, it is.
the amount of time,
yeah.
and 5 or 6 hours at this venue. You know, multiple hours promoting it.
Practicing.
Like $5 an hour.
Have you ever gotten this line? And I hate this. It'll be good exposure.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah, it sounds like a music conference.
Don't give me that
Yeah.
shit, man. Come on, man. If I got the internet,
Like
I can expose myself all the fuck I want. I got internet. You reckon I need to sit here in your
Yeah.
fucking venue and expose myself? Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like, dude, we got the internet. We got the fucking
only time
internet.
the only time that line would ever make sense, the person would never say it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like if you were supporting like an enormous band, they're not going to be like good exposure because you're going to be like, oh yeah, I so want to fucking do this.
exactly.
Sick.
You're going to be saying, thank you for the exposure. That's what you're going to be saying to them.
Yeah, but no one needs to say that. If anyone needs to say that, it's like, you know, people, I'm not being rude. I'm well.
No, fucking say it. Because anyone that says that shit to any person, you are a shark and you are taking advantage of someone's time. You are taking advantage of a whole bunch of shit. Like, dude,
It's just,
to actually think that you can turn around to someone that has spent hours in practice, hours in driving, hours in mastering their craft, and then turn around and think that you're going to give them exposure, man, play with the other one.
yeah, it's just weird that it's all this stuff's been normalized. Like, it's like if this was, like, imagine if you were like a chef, right? And you were like, someone was like, yeah, look, we're not going to pay you tonight because not enough people came to the restaurant. So,
Oh, that's
Like-
wow. I've
Like-
never heard of it. That is such a good way of putting it.
but, like, you know, we have normalized it. Like, we all
We
do,
have.
like, all of us do it. We will play a show that's like a good show for fuck all money
Yeah.
and be like, yeah, that's cool.
And then thank them afterwards.
Yeah, thanks so
That's-
much.
That's the worst, and that's the worst thing. That's when I felt the most dirty playing in a band. And I don't want to sound. I don't want to compare it to sex work, but that's how I felt a little bit when I get handed this piss all money and I got to go thank you. It's like, oh, thank you. Can you book us again? Because we were just so desperate for shows. Do you know what I mean?
It's just a strange dynamic.
It is.
Yeah, and like it's strange. Like even like I was just thinking in my head, just like because I went on a little tangent there about how fucked it is that venues don't do that. I was like, oh no, I feel bad now. I probably shouldn't though.
That's all right. That's what we're here for. It's all event. You know, we're obviously not changing the world here. It's just, you know, getting the feelings out there. Kate, what have you got for us? What would you...
Yeah, Kato.
snap?
There's a lot of things, I guess. I mean, the obvious ones are like things like sexism and everything.
That's the big one.
It's, I guess it's getting better, but I mean, it's also kind of not.
I think
It's getting performative, I reckon, like pretty badly.
it's getting brought to the front of stage, which is a starting point. I don't think we're ever going to get change overnight, but it's Raph and I done a news clip about this probably last year and a half ago maybe, and it was basically about that, and it was an article that we had read talking about how 90% of people in the music industry, it wasn't even talking about the entertainment industry as a whole, it was just separating the music industry. So 90% of all women, or 90 or 95% of women, all women in the music industry have copped some sort of harassment.
Yeah, I mean,
When you hear though, that's
I'm really surprised.
disgusting. That like,
Yeah.
in what other job on the fucking planet would you get that and have it be allowed? None.
Yeah, I mean,
Lots of jobs.
Lots.
yeah.
Lots.
Well, I mean, I work in a cafe and I have been sexually harassed just in my day job, which is fucked. But then, like, pretty much at like majority of the shows that we play, there's some kind of, you know,
Creep.
yeah,
Yeah.
or comment or something, you know.
More female.
Like the other night, my other band played a show, and someone approached me afterwards, and they were like, "Oh, that was great. Would it be rude of me to say that you looked so fucking hot up there?" And I was
Yes.
like, "Cool, thanks." Like,
No, you should just you should be like,
It's
yes,
like-
yes, it fucking would. You couldn't just say I
It's-
played bass really well.
yeah,
If-
yeah. It's just
Keep it
it's
to
just
yourself.
things like that it's like you're not seeing this for the art that it is. It's like you kind of want to hone it on this, or some gross people kind of hone it on this one thing, and it's like I'm just an
They're
object there
predators.
to
They're
just
predators. That's what they are.
Yeah.
That's how they conduct themselves.
mean,
and this is
yeah. So there's
Alrighty.
things like that are really difficult, and and it's terrible to say, and it's not okay at all that it's you know, you become so used to it
yeah, you
that
desensitize.
you almost feel not unfazed by it, but because it just happens so often that it.
Well, that's how desensitization
Like, oh,
works.
it's
It's just
just
it's just
yeah.
a norm. It's a culture, and that's the worst
which
part
is
about
fucked, actually. It's like
it. It's not something that you should have to be desensitized to.
Hmm.
I hope it's getting better. I hope more blokes are calling this stuff out at venues
Hmm.
and stuff like that. But I mean, I've always seen it. You know, we used to hang out at a club back in the day, and the DJ that used to run the club just used to use it as a little turnover factory, his little his little girl factory. You know what I mean? And just go through women like it was going out of fashion. And
That's pretty fucked up.
yeah, well, you know, unfortunately, it's like even Jimmy said, you know, it's unfortunate cultural norms that we've just accepted for so long that they've fallen by the wayside. And it's only now in the last, say, 5 years that people are starting to wake up to it. It's a very good thing, but it's a very late thing in that
Yeah.
same sense.
I mean, I think like, if you step out of your own place on the internet, like, to me, it feels like, and I have no idea what the experience would be like for you, Kato, but it feels like it's actually not moving forward. It's just stationary currently,
Okay.
which is meaning that the baseline of people that can make change is kind of there, but it's not really happening because it's just pretty obvious. You get on Twitter or something, and like that's a space now that's just like right opened up to not your point of view, and it's like it's kind of terrifying. Like it's sort of pretty fucked. Like, yeah, I don't think it's just the music industry though. It's just the world, like as it is.
Yeah.
Like, and then there's this stuff too with change happening. Right, is that like so many people want that to come with some kind of celebration. And it's like, you don't celebrate that because it's something that basically should have been like that in the first place. So it's like, you should almost just be like sad that
We had to fight for human decency.
it had to happen in the first place. Like, you know, there's no celebration to be had, certainly by men. Like, it's like, yeah, it's just a weird thing, like, that comes with change. I don't really understand it. It's not actually specific to sexism. It's with all sorts of things, where you normalize something that is quite fucked, and then when it starts changing, everyone's like, "Yay!"
Yeah.
No, like it's
Yeah.
not a yay moment, you know.
Yeah, or in some sense, I guess it's a yay moment in the fact that
No, because the
that,
people
that
that
the world's woken up to themselves. I mean, change in any I guess in any form is a good thing, as long as it's
Yeah.
positive change.
The
But at the end of
people
the day, should we really be celebrating people having human rights when just we're humans? Everyone should have just human rights. Why are we celebrating the basics of what humans need?
Yeah, but the yaying is being had by the people who are making the changes, right? And the thing is if that group of people had have done something in the first place, you wouldn't have ever had to deal with all this shit. Like, so it's like nah, no.
It's a
yay.
problem that shouldn't have been had. So
I'm
we
yay
shouldn't.
for it.
Yeah, well, I'm all for it. You know, like that's why I love having. That's why we love doing this. We get to hear all these different ideas and perspectives on life, and they're interesting. You know what I mean? And we learn so much, and it's through conversating with different people outside of your own circles and your own ideals and values that help you grow as a person. Because if you hang around with people with your own mindsets all the time, you've only got to get your own ideas thrown back at you. There's never going to be a constructive argument.
That's what I was meaning by, like, if you feel like change is happening, it's maybe because you're like, that's not actually that's not real. Like in every area of life, women are going actually backwards, like with all sorts of stuff to do with health, and like there's a lot of things like and it's really sad, but it feels like it's not like that, because there's like these weird progressions which are kind of superficial. Like there's like events that are being held that are like celebrating women, whereas it would have been maybe better if that venue had have employed some women, like, you know, and things like that. You know?
Well, I get what you're saying there. We're celebrating all these things, but are we actually doing anything?
Well, yeah, like that goes with any move.
And I guess that goes back to your thing where you're talking about how stagnant, how we think we're moving forward, but as a matter of fact, we've just sort of hit, we're talking about it, but that's as far as it's gone. We've just hit this wall and it's not going any further.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that's just kind of what happens sometimes, but you know, that's all right. I don't know. My view on life generally is try and be a really good person and do your best to not have people tell you that you are.
Yeah.
You know,
Bless
because otherwise you're fully missing the point.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
You are. It's very. Anyone got any other things that they'd like to piss off out of the music industry? Go.
You know what I'd like that I think is like maybe specific to Australia? People don't prop each other up. Like I find like it's not the same as other places. Like when someone has a win here, generally, apart from like we have a pretty cool circle, but outside of that, generally people get really annoyed. So like if a band that's within your community, say, gets a really fucking sick support, I always hear people say like, oh, well, you know, we should have got it, or fucking this other band should have got it. It should always be like, yo, that band that we know that's in our like community did this thing and it's totally fucking rad. And then everyone should message each other and be like, you guys are doing great.
Exactly.
You know? And it would be so rad. Like it'd be so rad if all the bands did that. No one's ever like in the limelight for that long, you know? So it's like we're all going to be the band at the bottom and the top at some point. So we might as well just do it together.
Fuck, I love it, man. And that look,
Yeah,
at the end of the day, we're all running our own race, but you got to be racing against someone. You know, like competing. No, but competing's good. But at the end of the day, you still got to be looking after the people that are running next to you. Otherwise, there is nothing to strive for.
I have this like analogy, right? It's like music awards. I find really strange. To me, it's like standing outside and having all these people go, "Which one's the best cloud?"
Oh,
It's like, well, I mean, it's pretty subjective.
It is.
Like,
it is.
What sort of cloud you like?
Because man, you know,
like you can't have an award for music,
and
really.
You're so dead set there in saying bands don't prop each other up, and I've seen it. I've literally seen it with my own eyes. Everything you said there, it's like we should have got that support. We should have done that. We should have done this. Well, go do it. They got it. They got it. You know what you should do? You should go ask that band, make friends with them, and then ask them how they got it, and learn from them. Because we're all here to learn. Yeah, we're all here to learn off each other. Just be nice.
We want to do that. You know, I mean, I don't know. I think it's super easy.
Yeah.
You know, it's not hard, and it's weird because like the bigger the band gets, the more that they seem to be like excluded from the thing. You know, because people get more and more annoyed with them.
So
I mean, such weird isolation.
One thing I personally think is when bands really start to break out and get big, I just feel like it should be like a standard thing where it's just like you got to have a buddy band. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You got to have someone that you can take with you, or just at least prop them up and do something for the scene.
Yeah.
You know,
I
like,
just-
it doesn't have to
whole-
be much. You can just be an olive branch. You know what I mean? Just pointing them in the right direction, but then toxicity and people get shitty and jealous, and it's a disgusting thing. It is such a disgusting thing.
art and competitive behavior does not go together.
Nah.
Like, it doesn't create good art. It's always the shittiest art. And it's also just creates really toxic environments for music to exist. Like, I just think that that whole model of how we do it in Australia needs to fully change. And I know that it's not like everyone, because, not all bands, but there's plenty of really nice communities, and we're definitely part of some. But, there's a lot more that aren't like that. And, like, it's just hard to be around sometimes. I think it's, like, kind of cool. Like, I always admire, like the kind of American, well, pretty much America in general. Like, when someone does really well, they just so psycho for it over there. They just think it's the fucking coolest thing ever, and everyone feels like they've won. I think that's such a cool way to go about things, as opposed to being like, oh, it was fucked, like, they're not even that good,
Yeah, the first thing that should be coming out of their mouth is congratulations, and imagine what this is going to do for the scene in Australia.
Yeah, just be stoked.
Yeah, because it does. It's like, and when a band that gets exposure, and when I talk about running a race, it's more like a thing of seeing other bands that make you want to work harder. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're how do we step up our game to get up to this level? And you just keep trying to work harder in that sense. That's the sort of competition. Yeah, that's the sort of competition. When I say competition,
yeah, like, it's inspiring you to, like, reach your own goals that you already have. And I know I get that out of people all the time. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, that's fucking cool that they're doing that. We should do that.
Yeah,
but this way.
Yeah, that's it. Do it our way.
But we'll go to Canada.
That's it. Mate, you guys did it the weirdest way possible, but so much respect for you all doing it like that, eh? Like, normally you hear about everyone sort of putting away 3 or 4 EPs, 5 or 6 EPs in Australia recording, and then they're going over to overseas to try and do stuff over there. You guys done the work over here with your first handful of songs, and just really good work.
I mean, I hope that we inspire some change there, because I think that is something that Australian bands should be encouraged to do from the get-go. Like, if they are really serious about making a career playing music, you cannot really do it in this country. Like, there's people that win ARIAs that are still working. Like, it's not a sustainable industry, really. It's like, and realistically, like, Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne are like the big places to play shows. They're 1,000 kilometers apart from each other. Like, you can play 3 shows. Like, it's just crazy. Like, to me, like, for that to be, I love it. Like, I love that there is a community here, and it's like a music community here and all that. But I don't think it's like a sustainable one. I think everyone should be encouraged to go to places that you can play tons of shows.
Yeah.
And you can make a career without being the biggest band in the whole country.
That's it. You should be able to network around a good handful of spots and just be able to travel up and down the East Coast and make a fucking living. 100%.
Some people argue you can do that here, but I've never actually worked out for a band like us.
Yep. I mean, I've said this plenty of times on stream. Like, we're psychotic in our own ways. We pick such a niche genre to sort of stick in, whether it be punk, metal. We live on the east coast of a massive country, so we're limited. We've already cut the population down to like a chunk.
As I say, it's a massive country with a
it's a massive country with exactly, the massive country, low population and low surface area that you can actually live in.
Yeah.
So I hope that you guys will be the example of what bands should start striving for in the future, and especially if it all works out for you, knock on wood, and I really hope it does from the bottom of my heart, that it becomes sustainable for you all, and that we can have this conversation after the album comes out again with Raph, which we will have you all on again. And because
It will happen. It's not like for me, it's like not a matter of like, will this happen? Like, it will happen. Like, we'll will it into existence. Like, that's kind of what we do.
It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Well, yeah. So, like, I know that's a funny saying, but it's like not inaccurate towards haters.
Good.
Like, yeah. I don't know. I refuse to even acknowledge a barrier. Like, I think it's just insane because it just makes things slow. You know,
that's respect, man. That is so much respect for you there, man. Because you hear a lot of bands like it's weird. We've spoken to so many bands on here, and you can sort of really tell the difference between the ones that are like, no, this is what I'm doing. It's like, no. I may do other stuff, but this is what I'm doing. And you sort of you talk. No, it's like no. This is shh. This is what I'm doing. Just accept it. And that energy that you give off there is just like, yeah, there's no barriers here. It's all straight moving.
Yeah, I just think that like a cool thing about all playing music is that like, and it's like it is liberating in its own way. Is that nothing is stopping you from like writing the greatest song of that era. Like you don't need to have anything other than the capability, and so that itself is like a level playing field against everyone. And so that's sort of like, well, we can do that. Like, let's just keep writing fucking great songs.
100%. And look at Tenacious D. They didn't even write the greatest song in the world. They just did a tribute to one.
Yeah.
That bad boy went number one.
Yeah.
It's true.
Anyone got any more to fuck off before we wrap up tonight?
Nah.
I feel like I've whinged enough for one evening.
Well, look.
I really need a piss.
That's cool, man. We're going to sign off. We'll do a little sign off, and we'll get you going to the bathroom. Haters, I would like to thank you all so much for joining us here on Two Dudes Talk Music. It has been an absolute pleasure getting to know you all this evening. So much respect for your art, for your craft, for the journey that you guys have been on, taking that step and going to Canada, and now your 26 show tour that you're going to absolutely blow. Like, you're going to rep Australia. So much love for you guys, so much respect, and just rep the Aussies so well over there, eh? Like, just do us all proud. I know you fucking will. I know you will do Queensland and the whole of Australia proud. But as we always do here at Two Dudes Talk Music, we do our little sign out. Everybody, the world's been a bit crazy, but we're out the other side. We're allowed back at shows. Not fest just happened on the weekend. Mate, we're allowed back in this world. So go out there. Go have fun. Go see shows.
Too much money for one hand.
That's it. And you know what I'm going to say. Go dance like no one's watching.
Now.
Yeah, go dance like no one's watching. Sing like no one's listening. And fucking love like it's the last day on this planet, because you fucking deserve it. Take it easy, y'all. I'll see you next week. And as we always sign off now, we're going to play a music video from these guys, from the Haters. Let's get into what we're going to play. We're going to play... Oh, what are we going to play? We're going to play Quit My Job. Quit My Job, because that's the most recent one. Everyone have a great night. We'll see you next Thursday. Same time, same channel. Take it easy, y'all.
Thank you for having us.
Anytime you guys, anytime any of you want to come back on, you're more than welcome onto the Two Dudes Talk Music family. Please come back and keep us posted, all right?
Yeah, we'll do. Thanks, Matt.
Don't go anywhere.
For listening.
2 seconds, all right? I'll put this music video and then I'll say bye to you. Take it easy, everyone.